Sun Valley is a neighborhood in West Denver. It's just south of the Broncos Stadium. The boundaries are pretty much the Platte River, I-25, and Federal on the east and west, and then about 8th Avenue and Colfax, north and south. And it's a pretty diverse community. There are about 1,500 residents and 33 languages spoken in Sun Valley. And the statistics are that over 50% of the residents are under the age of 18. So much of it's just been community driven. And it's just been a lot of listening and responding to needs in the community. And food access over and over and over again emerged as the greatest need. That's what we just heard from residents. And so in 2014, we started the enrichment program. In 2016, we started our no-cost grocery program in partnership with Denver Food Rescue. So that has been the biggest way that we've been able to provide food access for the community, because we're twice a week getting 500 to 700 pounds of food that we're able to distribute. And I think that's been huge for this community, not just food, but relationships. We've seen so many relationships being built through that program of people just starting to come and gather. They're all pretty comfortable in this space, and I feel like for a lot of them, this space and the youth center next door are second homes to them. I mean, these are just gathering places or little community hubs where it's just an open door policy, so they know they can come in. And I mean, even outside of our structured cooking class or the dinners that we serve at night, kids often just pop in here and know that they can get food if they need it, or they'll pop in just to say hi or hang out. And so I think in that way, again, we never set out to really do that. That's not something you can create or force. It's just very organically become this community gathering place. I think we've seen, some of these kids have been part of the cooking class for 4 or 5 years now, and we've seen them transform. We've seen them just really fall in love with cooking and the whole process, and just see their energy shift, where they are able to focus. And I think that's what we've learned over the last few years, is just meeting residents where they're at, that they're all in different places, and a lot of them are dealing with really severe trauma and severe hunger, and it's just meeting them where they're at and trying to help them navigate whatever it is that they're needing. And that's, again, different in every situation, so I think it takes a lot of patience and flexibility, but that mentality of it takes a village, I feel like we're just part of the village and helping fill in some of the gaps where families aren't having enough food, or they're just having different needs that aren't being met. So it's been really meaningful getting to build relationships with these families and kids. And some of these kids we've known since they were 5, 6, 7, and getting to watch them grow up, and now employing them, trying to get funding to start scholarship funds for them, and just investing in them as people. And I think we aren't doing anything on a really large scale. We're a pretty small nonprofit, but we really are more focused on and care more about just the depth of, let's go really deep with a few of these kids and these families that are in our little world. And so I think that's the most meaningful part, is that, okay, we're not going to be able to serve every single kid or family in Sun Valley, and we know that that's, at least in this current state for our organization, that's not really realistic. But the families that are in our little world, let's go really deep with them and help them in whatever way we can, and believing that that's the biggest impact that we can have. all of us, like every human being, has dreams and desires and aspirations, whether we're aware of them or not. But that's just this innate part of being human, is that we dream and we desire, and to hear some of the dreams and desires of these parents and youth in our neighborhood just reflected back the humanity in them and in ourselves. Of we all have dreams and desires, no matter if you live in a lower income community or you're the wealthiest person in the country. Like, we are human, and I think part of what I hope for Sun Valley Kitchen and Community Center is that we continue to keep that in the forefront of our mission and our work, that we're not just over-focused on meeting the basic needs and the bare minimum. Yes, feeding people is so important, and that will always be an integral part of what we do, but also wanting to feed their souls and feed their dreams and their desires, and to help them attain those dreams, or at least take steps towards them. So I think it's finding that balance, or holding that tension of meeting the tangible, immediate needs and focusing on the whole person and what they dream of and what they desire, and coming alongside them to hopefully chase after some of those dreams.
I love the people so much in Sun Valley. When I was a little boy, I lived in a town of less than 100 people. This Sun Valley feels very much like a little town, and everyone knows everyone. Everyone's looking out for each other, and there's so many different cultures here and so many different types of people in Sun Valley, but there's just a common bond, I think, between the residents, and I think that for the most part, everyone really feels fortunate to be in this neighborhood. Our food pantry has changed pretty dramatically because of COVID. Instead of having people come inside like we did previously and they kind of were able to shop for the items that they want, we're pre-bagging everything and then bringing it out to the participants who are coming for the food pantry.
No matter where you go, any country, any culture, it seems to be that people gather around food, and you find a sense of comfort and a sense of belonging that you normally don't have in just a conversation. And so I think food is really that key essential ingredient that brings the community together. Community to me is everyone coming together with a collective goal in mind, whether that be feeding the community or giving our time to help clean up the community, whatever the case may be, and also being purpose driven at the same time. We come together, we have a purpose, and we carry out that purpose to make an impact on the community.
I think seeing and hearing some of the stories from our youth employees and kids and families in the neighborhood, and the trauma and just the circumstances that they have endured in their lives, and some of them in short lives, 8, 10 years old, the things that they've experienced and seen and walked through. It's incredibly humbling. And it's given me even deeper compassion than I have ever known. The young men and women we've had the privilege of getting to know and work with, I think they're so resilient and so courageous to walk through the things that they walk through, and to still believe in a better future and in a better life, and to take steps towards that, and to seek out opportunities that will better their lives. And I feel like that's where this space has been so impactful, all of the youth employees that work for us have sought out this opportunity on their own. We've never publicized it or gone out and tried to find youth employees, but they have each sought that out, and I think it's such a testament to their drive and their courage and their resiliency that they want to better their lives. And if we can play even the smallest part in helping them to do that, I think that's a life well lived. So.
So currently, there's been, in the redevelopment process, we have seen the beginning of construction, which is almost complete. The timing of the development has been delayed, and unfortunately the consequences of the delay of the redevelopment is that the residents are going through a relocation process. What the narrative had been for many years was that the construction was going to be done on off-site lots, and so residents could just move right into those when they were completed. And unfortunately, because of timing and factors, that didn't happen. So there will be construction going on in the neighborhood for many years, but we'll start to see changes in housing opportunities for residents within the next 2.5 years. I think that the community center has a big role to play in the redevelopment and maintaining a sense of community in this neighborhood. As buildings are torn down and residents are moving out, it will be really, I think, hard to regain that sense of community that we have currently. And this space, I believe, the community center is vital in supporting that, and I think there's a real responsibility to do everything that we can to make residents who have moved feel like they're still part of this community.
I think in the midst of our community redevelopment, our vision for this community center is that it will continue to evolve and adapt in meeting residents' needs as those change. I think, again, through this pandemic, we've seen how resilient and adaptable we are as an organization, that we've been able to pivot and meet new needs as they've been arising, and I think that is part of our responsibility and our call in this community, is to continue adapting and rising up to meet new needs as they emerge. I think that's been the heartbeat of what we've done since the beginning of listening and responding to needs, not imposing our own vision or our own agenda on this community, but really listening and letting the community lead. And so I think it's going to be even more important as we move forward in the redevelopment for us as an organization to listen and respond and come alongside residents in the community. In our mission and our purpose as an organization will probably need to evolve with the community, and I think that's the sign of in my mind, a healthy and strong organization. If you're not so stuck in your ways or in the past, but that you're pliable and moldable, and you're able to move and change with the community that you serve.
I deliver food to a small number of families in the neighborhood. I think being in this community and helping my neighbors has made me realize that it's so easy to make a change in someone's life, and that the slightest effort can bring the biggest results.
Is 5 meals enough? Okay, cool. There's your lunches right there. They're not quite as special as the other ones. Yeah, sure.
I think hope is a key component as an individual and as a community in the betterment of ourselves and of our community as a whole. And I think hope is something that is in each of us, and that we have to kind of find or evoke for ourselves. But I think just one person choosing hope and choosing to to believe in a better future for themselves or for their community inspires everyone around them. And I think to hope is a really courageous act. I think given the circumstances of any of our lives or our country right now, I think it's easy to give up hope or to feel pretty hopeless. And I think it's a really brave act to still choose to hope in the face of adversity, in the face of trauma and abuse and poverty and any of the number of circumstances that the families that we serve and that any of us as human beings face.
One word to describe Sun Valley: soulful. There's a lot of soul in this community that goes far back, long before I got here.
It's helped us a lot because recently my dad got sick, and usually there's no grocery stores around here or anything. They're pretty far. So you probably gotta travel a distance just to get something, and it's nice to have somebody bring food, especially when my dad's not always up to it.
Like, my main goal is for me to get better, to get healthier, but during that time I need my kids to grow too. I want to see my kids grow, graduate school. They're almost there, you know, but grandbabies and stuff, I'll wait for that down the road. So other than that, I just can't give up, man. I've been through so much. I'm not gonna give up. And I like to give that information out to everybody else out there too that is struggling. You know, there's always a voice. There's always somebody there that's willing to help you, but you got to speak up first, because if you don't speak up, then nobody's gonna know what you're going through or what is happening around your surroundings.
So most of us are pretty close. Like, us and the neighbors were pretty close, and you know, once you get to know someone, you can just ask them if you need anything. Especially now, how everything's been going, it's really nice to know that someone right next to you can help you.
The community center helps me by helping me get through the month with extra food. Glenn has helped me with toilet paper and household necessities. Daisy has helped me with collecting food and clothing materials. They're a good part of the community because he's here for us. Even though we try to give him things, he gives, he doesn't take. They're great people.
My name's Tony Cisneros, and I've lived here at Sun Valley for 50 years. I had all my children here, and they grew up here, went to school to Rachel North West High School. They graduated from school. I had siblings that lived here too. They all passed away. I had brothers and sisters. I was 28 when I moved to Sun Valley, and now, I'm not going to tell you my age now. Wendell, that's my son. He works with Glenn here, and he really likes it. And he's a good boy, and he's trying to get himself to graduate, and he just likes it here.
The most meaningful thing for me right now is to be able to take care of my kids, to raise them up in a good, healthy home, to make sure that they have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 3 meals a day. They get that and plenty more. It's allowed me to put my kids into school, so they have schooling all the time. And when they don't go to Fairview or West Early College, they're able to do their internet on their school on the internet. So I'm loving it. Everything that is happening to me right now has made me grow and prosper, and it's helping me become a better father to my kids, and it's helping me to be a better neighbor and a big part of society where I'm able to be a part of it and stay a part of it.
Everybody in the community, that thank you very much for helping me out, and someday I will be able to help out too, and I'll volunteer. I might not be able to work or do anything like that, but hey, I'll still be able to pass around in the community that, hey, we are here, we do care, we want to hear your voice too, and we're willing to help anybody. Thank you.